Alright, hey Glod Squad, here is a review of our Watchpoint Gibraltar game. As you remember, this one game was pretty close and we lost, which is a great game to review. I'm going to be going through each fight that I thought was important and like an actual fight. Like if we had some weird half fight where we didn't do much, then I'm not going to review it. But I have a few timestamps marked out and I'll point out some things that went wrong. So we were running Lucio, Ryan, Zarya, and then Rob, you were on McCree and Doomfist, depending. So first up, we have 2 minutes. Let me get a bearing on what was happening here. Okay, so this play, we win this play, and it's a good play. But, Rob, you do something that is good, but I don't know if you called this out, but I would have liked to kind of work with it. So they play here, and then Rob, you go on a flank with High Noon. I go for an Earth Shatter. That's going to be my play. I think I can win the fight here, because I just see a good opening. Reinhardt's off to the side, and I go for an Earth Shatter. Right now, you're still halfway through your flank, and you do help to clean up some of the fight. You get at least one person, and then you kill this Reinhardt because of your flank. So you basically get 2 kills, but something that we could have done is just waited for you to ult from behind them, and you could have just magically gotten kills because sometimes they don't even see that. If Reinhardt had turned, then I could have Earth Shattered or charged him, done something else. So we could have used better resources on that. But overall, that wasn't a bad play. I like the thinking there. All right, next up, we have 245. This is a mistake on my part. It would have been hard to see this coming, and it's kind of like a lot to ask, but I could have ult tracked a bit better. Watch what happens. I'll do half speed. I go out of position. Reinhardt can freely Earth Shatter because I'm not even blocking him at this point, and that's what causes us to lose the fight. So I could have known that they had a Nano Boost or Earth Shatter. Earth Shatter would have been easy to track, and for some reason I was not in front of the Reinhardt. So that's what loses us the point. People eventually trickle and die, and then we go to defend over here. Next up is 310. So I want you guys, we're almost there anyway. This is a good call out on my part, and I'm really glad everyone cooperated with it. So as we're capping this point, this is a huge thing. We get back spawned, and this is usually something you can exploit on gold people and even platinum people, is that the people who respawn up here, me and Kevin and Lucio here, and Moira, all spawn up here. But then we cap point, or they cap point, and then our DPS are spawned back there. I call out, guys, we're going to go and catch our stragglers rather than fight. Moira eventually gets out here, and it's a better call, because we most likely would have lost that fight there, and then the DPS would have come in, then lost that fight again, and we would probably end up holding right before B here. Instead, we are able to kind of catch our people, and then meet up all at the same time and play this corner, which really ended up helping us out. And then, depending... Yeah, okay, so in this fight right here, I'm going to go pretty slow. Keep in mind, Daniel, you have your ult right now, and we also have Grav. So think about before the fight, check our ult meters and see what play we're going for. Most likely, Kevin's going to grab and want me to swing at it because we don't have any other ult to combo with it. So Daniel, you should be focusing on me and seeing if you need to bail me out. Because if I die, then I can't get that swing. And once my shield's down and I'm swinging, I'm going to start taking a lot of damage. Right now, you're trying to shoot like the people up there, which is fine, but keep in mind that the fight is starting. So at about... there is a time that I would have... You do this. You get the ult down in time, but you could have done it a bit earlier. So just watch my health meter. The ult comes out. I try and swing. Realize I'm low. I shield. I get hacked. I probably should have died. Then we have our Junkrat ult. So, we end up winning. But one thing is we didn't technically, it's hard to see it, but like the sound barrier wasn't necessary because Junkrat got the kills and he didn't even need to be alive to get the kills. You did save my life, but now you still have to heal it up, and it does charge Moira's ult, but basically if you could watch that, wait till I'm about half health and in a bad situation, and then hit that ult. Next up, oh, on the flip side, there was a better ult that you have. This is very interesting. So, we're holding here again. This is like the next fight or something. Sombra's in the back. So some context, our Constantine DPS isn't that good. Their Sombra is good, and our support is good. And we're fighting here. And they're going to go in hard with a few ults. We countercharge. Daniel gets hacked right here. And I can tell you're looking at me trying to ult, but you don't have it, obviously, because you're hacked. Which leads me to die. But then as soon as you get unhacked, you go for the ult. And everyone gets it here. And then that leads us to get a few picks. Rob definitely gets a pick here. Our support gets a pick. And we get enough picks that it's going to win the fight. So, it's good that you used it there. Eventually I come back, ult the McCree, and that's all good. And then at about 7:10, yeah, it's just next fight. So here's another thing, Daniel. There are a lot of Daniel things in this because the point that I'm trying to make here is that Lucio can be very helpful in the Rein v. Rein battle, using his kit to kind of facilitate Rein. So what's going to happen in this next fight is that Reinhardt is going to get nano boosted. And he's going to be wailing away at me, and our Moira is going to be using all her resources to heal me. But something we could do is just boop him away. So if we speed it up here. We get the Sombra to teleport away. I mess up that block. I get pushed all the way back here. So I'm low, but our support's healing us. Here, about right here or so. Daniel, you have Boop up right now. I'll play this in slow. I'm taking a bunch of damage from this Rein, and it's getting healed up by our Moira. Something you can do is go in and boop the Rein as he's trying to swing, and then he'll miss his 2 shots. And you go for quite a bit. You eventually do it right there, but could have happened a bit sooner. And then, other than that, this fight goes pretty well. And then we go to our next phase. So, yeah, my one thing for Daniel is do exactly what you're doing, just do it a bit sooner before bad things happen rather than in reaction to bad things happening. Especially like Sound Barrier, because Sound Barrier doesn't heal you. So if you do it right before I take a bunch of damage, it's much more useful than after I take a bunch of damage. So on the flip side here, okay, so another thing, I just had a note. Another thing Lucio can do is using Speed Aura and Speed Amp to play that game between distances of the Reins. So when Reins are close to each other, they're both going to swing because they're evenly matched and they just want ult charge and stuff like that. If one Reinhardt is nano boosted, regardless of who it is, you're going to want to be on Speed Aura or even Speed Amp, because if the enemy is on speed or a nano boost, you can speed us out of range of him so he can't even deal any damage, and we just kind of wait for the nano to be done, and then we re-engage. If I'm nano boosted, we want to push in harder. So that's something to watch out for coming up in the next thing. So if we hop to 11. This is our fight here. So we tried a few times going underneath, and then we realized, oh, let's go up top. That'll help out, which is a really good call, but we only get really 2 good fights to actually try this. First fight does not go too well for us. So we keep in mind, look at our ult percentages. Kevin basically has ult. We have nano boost, and everyone else is pretty close. So we're going to push on up here. I get nano boosted, and then I just assume I have to init right there. This is a mistake on my part. We don't deal with the turrets, and it kills Daniel. And then we're 2 people down right now. We grab, and there were a lot of people there. For some reason, didn't catch them. And then I try and use ult. I die. Like, it's just kind of a crap show. So that could be my mistake. But also, try not to use ults if it feels like I initted badly. Anyway, next fight goes a little better. It's like 1150 something. Okay, so Kevin, you're a bit up there, but at least you're using box to defend you, so that's fine. And then we try and go through this way. I could have shielded you guys a bit better, but it turns out being fine. The turrets are still there. They've been there the whole time. That's something to keep note of. Also, one thing to comment, Rob, on the Doomfist. Your timing is pretty dang good. I still don't really like the Doomfist on this pick, and I'll explain why, how we're using box to give us an advantage. You go for this Ana and you get slept, you probably remember that. But at least the timing is great, so when we're pushing in, you're on the Ana, so the Ana's not healing them. So, yeah, I admire that. I can't really get a good view. Rob gets slept up there. And then we speed amp out of here. I'll explain what that means for us. Daniel accidentally goes over there and gets killed by the turrets. So there are a few ways... Let me just finish this before I talk. So we try and fight it out. We're using server room a little bit. I go up to attack here. Not many people are with me because they're either dead or just in the room. And then I get fried by there. Okay. There were a lot of things that went wrong in that fight, but there are still a lot of things that we could have done a bit better. One thing is the turret stayed up the whole time, killing 2 of us. And maybe even Constantine. See, Constantine is coming back right now. It's not very good. He was dead for like the whole fight. We could have regrouped, but it's whatever. The reason we play server room is so that we can sit in here, push out as much as we want. If things are bad, we dial it back, and then wait for the things to get good again, and then keep going. We can charge bubble. We can buy all the time we need to do good things. Let me go back to 11:55 to like the start of the fight here. So something that we could have done is we could have had like a McCree to kill the turrets and then play with this room. Because right now, Rob, you're not even using the room. So that is one thing. And then I'll talk about a few other positional things. First of all, this is hard to do. I know I had a problem with this when I played Lucio, but when we speed amp, still make sure that you're behind the shield. So like, don't be afraid to hit S while you're speed amping, because we go out and we amp, and first of all, we're right where we need to be already, so we don't really need amp. We do need aura, but I plan to just stay in front of the Rhine because there's always a good chance that Rhine has ult, and he in fact does in this moment. So I'd like to just kind of block that. So I'm just looking to play where I am right now, so we kind of use amp unnecessarily. And then it looks like you expected me to go out further onto these DPS, and that's why you go far. And then you see that I'm not there, you back up into that. Something that would have been a better play is to stick behind me, don't use amp, and then when they use nano on the Rhine, you speed amp us back into the server room, because it just wastes that ult for them, and then we come back out. So that's a good play. And then Rob comes here. He's at least with us now. We kind of go back in the server room, and we recoup, which is good. Then I push out again. And when I push out, I'm expecting Kevin, you to push out, not really the supports, but any DPS as well to push out with me. But I don't know. I back up into there. So half picks, half positioning. But I did end up liking how we decided to take server room. So that's all my comments right now. In conclusion, Rob, make picks that you expect to be good for the map and what we're trying to run, because I think that's something you undervalue. You just kind of make a pick that you think you'll be comfortable on, but realize what we're doing and follow it. Kevin, stay a bit closer to me and init when I init. Daniel, try and see how you can use your abilities to help me out, or boop the main tank around, or just experiment with doing different things. And me, I don't know, be more consistent, watch the Rhine more, and be in a better position. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.